Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of The Power of Surrender with Hugh, where every day we take a card from the deck, The Power of Surrender by Dr Judith Orloff, and we chat about it for your inspiration and hopefully food for thought in these challenging times we are all living through. Today's card is very interesting. It is Surrender to Wonder and Awe. Beautiful card. It kind of looks a little bit like Wonder Woman, the person in there. I don't know if that's accidental, but is there a coincidence with stuff like this? Probably not. Now, a beautiful card, and I have so much to say about this particular one, but let me tell you what the card says. It says, open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder of all in life. I'm going to say that again. Open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder of all in life. Now, I remember for me, adjusting to this type of perspective came through listening to the speaker Abraham Hicks, who talked about when you're walking through the park the next time, slow down, really slow down. And don't walk at the usual pace that you do. Look around at the trees, at the flowers. Really take your time. Look up at the beauty and the majesty of some of these trees and flowers and plants and just the whole layout of the park. And maybe you might see kids playing there or little cute puppies or dogs being taken for a walk. But really slow down and observe and take in all this extraordinary beauty that's all around us all the time, that we sometimes forget. We're walking so quickly through things. We're getting from point A to point B. We're not realizing the beautiful things that are along the way. This is a beautiful planet. There's incredible things on here. You turn on the television, they focus on all the negative things, but there's so many extraordinary things about this world. Even in this COVID situation we're going through right now, the beauty is still all around us. That COVID is not going to take any of that away. So I'm going to read this to you again. It says, open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder of all in life. And that's why I'm telling you that story of the park, because it's the simplest one I can give to you that really articulates that changing your perspective from saying, oh bloody hell, I have to go through the park and blah, blah, blah. Just actually taking time every day to go out and be in nature. It could be your back garden. It could be just looking out your window. It could be going to the park, going to the beach, whatever is closer nearby to you. I have the Thames River running 5 minutes walk down the road. And every time I go there, I have the same reaction. God, this is beautiful. And I see the ferries going by. They're not ferries. They're hydrofoils. What is it called? Anyway, this kind of the transport that goes along on the Thames, and every day I'm like, oh, that's so cool. You know what I mean? And I look at the Thames, and I know people would look at the Thames and go, it's filthy and it's this and it's that and the other. But for me, I'm like, this is the Thames. This is a famous river through one of the oldest and most well-known cities in the world. And there's a park right beside it where I sit sometimes and just look out at the Thames, and it's beautiful. And it's all about your perspective, looking at these things that can change it up completely. It could be just an ordinary park. Oh, it's cold today. Oh, I should probably want to go home. To stopping and looking all around me. And even the park that's down there, it's a small park, but to me, it's a beautiful park. I love the way it's laid out. There's some great spots there to be able to sit down and chill, journal, and just read some type of books. I've been taking there and I read with me. And it's a great environment for that. There's wonderful energy there. Again, it's all about your perspective and how you look at it. Now, as the card goes on, it gets into it a little bit more, and it says, this attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. I think sometimes I do look back at my videos and make sure that they're okay before I post them. And one of the things that I hear myself talking about a lot is going downstream, going with the flow. And I can understand how a person could hear that and just think it's just some kind of flippant, thing that people say about spirituality. But like going with the flow is one of the most fundamental and powerful things to understand. Going with the flow is letting go of outcome. Going with the flow is letting go of control. It is surrender. That's what this whole deck is all about. Surrender. The power of surrender. And that's why I love this deck and why I'm making this show, because we are getting onto some of the most key and important elements of changing a person's life and helping us all. For those who are interested, and obviously if you're watching, you probably are, then it's just understanding these basic fundamental principles, and one of those is going with the flow. And as the card just says, when you have an attitude that is open, that is looking around at the joy and the beauty of the world, it changes the frequency that you're vibrating at, and that brings more of the same frequency to you. I don't know if you've ever noticed that experience. I certainly had the experience as I started to do cards more openly and talk about it online. All of a sudden I found myself befriending a whole bunch of people who were all empaths. That was one of the first things I noticed when I was working in my job here near to where I live now. And when I was working there, I all the people I became friends with were all empaths. It was just the strangest synchronicity. And then I started meeting people online who were responding to my card videos, because they also did cards as well. And so that's just a simple example of when you are broadcasting at a certain frequency, you will attract people of the similar energy to you. And so it's just a very, very powerful thing to go with the flow. And it talks about the ecstasy of going with the flow, because it's easy, because when you're going upstream, things are a struggle. Things are difficult. You feel like you're fighting with the whole world. It feels like everything is against you. You're going upstream. You're not going with the flow. It's really that simple. If your emotions are down, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling like hopeless, or you're going upstream. The world gives us, the universe gives us these signals. The emotions that we have, the events that occur in our life are all signpost signals to us to let us know what's going on. And why I love doing shows like this is because it's taking the lessons that I've learned in life and sharing them with you, the perspective that I have now, and I'm continuing to learn every day. But because as we change our perspective and as we start to go downstream and go with the flow, there's less of those dramas that happen in our life. The people that are around us are more upbeat in the same frequency that we are. And things start to fall in place, and there is just a joy and a simplicity to it that it just has to be experienced to be fully understood. And how do we experience it? Just by literally surrendering to the fact that the universe has our back, and that there is extraordinary, beautiful things all out there, and we can have whatever we want to. What we have to do is change our mental perspective on things, and by looking at things, so that there's more wonder and awe in our life. Just think about it. I mean, you're just changing your frequency from, oh God, bloody hell, blow COVID, blah blah blah, negative. And I completely understand. I went out to the store yesterday, and it was very negative vibe in there. Wow, compared to a couple of days ago when I went in. I haven't been paying that much attention to the news, but obviously there's new restrictions coming in, and they were very strict in the store, and the energy in the store was so different because of this fear, because the person at the door, where's your mask? And it's, I know he's just doing his job. He's a nice man. I've talked to him before, but it's just the fear and the tension that's there because of this. And so by making it, like, I'm looking at my window now, I see this beautiful tree, beautiful trees actually, and I can see them all starting to turn, for obviously we're in October, so we're into, as they say in America, fall or autumn. And so I just look out and I see, and there's this beautiful street that goes along, and it has it kind of looks like a typical classic British street, the way the houses are designed. It's like something out of Coronation Street or something in the intro. And you see the long street that goes down to the Thames, and there's trees on all sides. I'm looking out the window as I'm talking to you here, seeing it. And that to me is like, every time I look out of this apartment, I'm like, this is beautiful. You know, I'm literally in awe of this place that I'm living in, and the scenery, looking out the windows. And it's just, that's my perspective. My landlord slash roommate calls me Happy Hugh. And you know, I know this, someone would be cynical about that, but that's true. You know, I'm a happy guy. I'm appreciative of the things that I have. And that's because I take the time to have this sense of wonder and awe. He said to me the other day, he said, Hugh, it's like you're like a 2-year-old kid. You're so enthusiastic. I was showing him my light set up and my stand here and all my decks and the other day, and I was just I'm so grateful to be able to do a show like this. This phone, I was able to buy it because I was doing readings, and people very gratefully were paying for me for my services. And I was able to buy this light and stand because of that, and which enables me to do more content to help people, to send love and higher vibrations out there. So why would I not be happy? Do you know what I mean? I feel like a very fortunate person to live the life that I do, and the experiences I've had, and the wonderful things that I have in my life. So I hope you got some inspiration and food for thought from this card. What an interesting card, right? Wonder and awe. If you could try that for just a few minutes every day, even if it was a struggle, to try and find that wonder and awe in life, you'd be amazed at the impact it will have on your life as you get into the habit of doing that in a natural way. My friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Please check out my daily cards also on Instagram at Hugh Readings, and I will see you tomorrow.